The idea originated with Kenny Gage, who's one of our producers. He wrote a 7 or 8 page short film called Raze. It was about these two girls. One of they're both abducted. They fight each other to the death. Asked me if I'd take a look at it and see what I thought as a producer, and I thought that there was something there. I just wanted to take it seriously and have it not be exploitation. So we just started, the conversation began there, and then we just started expanding on it and expanding on it, and then Zoe came into the mix very early on, along with Rachel Nichols, and yeah, I mean, it was just like I said, it was very organic. It was just kind of like, well, I guess we're gonna make this movie.
Ironically, when I came aboard, and then Rachel Nichols came aboard through Waller. Just when you said it just then, I totally remembered when it all happened. And my experience with Rachel prior to this was I had doubled someone on Alias, and had fought opposite Rachel. Oh. And it was like my second job back after like a life-changing injury, and
say it.
I elbowed her in the face and made her bleed, and it's the only actress it's the only time in my entire career. It was literally the worst day of my career ever was with Rachel Nichols. And I've like fractured my spine and done injuries, and it made me sick for months. Like 8 months down the track, someone would be like, "Oh, you worked on Alias?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, totally crushed my spirit."
I had no idea.
So he was like, "Oh, Rachel Nichols." And I was like, "Oh, great." And he was like, I spoke to Rachel. She told me apparently did something happen, and Rachel very kindly said something like, "Oh, I forgot to duck," and I put my face in front of her elbow. Like, as a stunt double, it's never the actresses or actors' fault, but that was really nice.
You adjust, Zoe.
You adjust. Yeah, I know. I like didn't Tracy. Didn't adjust. Yeah.
And here's the ultimate transition for that. Should you guys in real life find yourself in this same situation, who would come out on top?
Ooh.
I think I would. oh, the girls.
Zoe would absolutely come on.
Yeah, I think Zoe would destroy all of us.
It's true to life. This is actually
if they had my brother, look at him, he's like, "I don't reckon." He's like, "Nah, I don't see it."
Think about that though. With like what if they had like one of your loved ones?
It'd be let's do it. Make a reality TV show.
I think it still would be Zoe, because I can have all the loved ones I want. I would just be like, "No, Russell."
I'd be biting.
You're trying to do the choreography in the movie. She's like, "What are you doing?"
No, it's a lift.
I'm like hitting her right here. Like I'm just missing her.
Zoe would totally lose because she's trained at pulling punches.
Trained to miss.
She's trained to miss. You guys are gonna like pop her in the face.
Yeah, I would train to miss.
I still put my money on Zoe. Over myself.
Did Hunger Games come up at all with this? Because this kind of feels like Hunger Games for adults in a way.
In the middle of writing it, but that was about it. We were like, I remember at one point we were sitting around the table, and I was like, "This Hunger Games thing, like, is it bad that that's similar?" Blah blah. And one person said, "No, it's a massive budget, different sort of genre." Blah blah blah. And then someone else said, "I don't reckon that movie's going to do any good anyway." I remember still going, "Well, maybe it'd be good for us if it did." Nah.
I gotta be honest. The second there was some stuff that like popped up, and and then I read Hunger Games, and I was like, okay, there's definitely similarities, but they're not similar. And then once I saw the movie, I was like, they were all.
No,
this is a very realistic. This is something that can happen tomorrow.
There's no love triangles for teenagers in this one.
Yeah. We don't have.
Or is there?
I'd say it could be a good selling point, but I don't think you want like 14-year-olds coming into your movie.
Yes, we do. I want teenagers. No, it's a hard R.
I don't think
it's a hard R.
It's a hard R.
And how is it putting together a hard R and like knowing how far to push it, both in terms of like what your audience can handle and also just like safety? I mean, you're a very experienced stunt coordinator, so I'm sure everyone was okay on set.
I think we mostly did all right on set.
I don't think, was there any? I mean, everyone really brought their A game, so they worked hard, and we were just saying that we had training prior, and there was some. Yeah, I mean, I think after each fight, it took me about 2 days to recover.
We were scratched up and bruised and stuff.
Only from the stuff that you did to other people, though.
Yeah, well, I found like reflexes, like reacting. I would have like a little sore neck, and I would kind of wake up, and I'd be like I'd go home feeling all badass, and then I'd wake up and be like, oh my god.
But you're using muscles that are not usually used. So the muscles are like, yeah, we can do this. Next morning they're like, screw you, buddy, you didn't condition me for that at all.
Yeah.
I was just thinking though, like in terms of comparing it to Hunger Games, like Hunger Games to me seems like there was definitely like a similarity to Battle Royale, which is like as far as the audience, I feel like we're a much closer audience reference to, does that even make sense?
To Battle
audience
Royale?
Reference? Yeah, to Battle Royale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, audience reference, I just made that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. If you say the synopsis to people, they're like, oh, it's kind of like Hunger Games. I'm like, it's really not.
It's
It's
really more like
Battle
Battle Royale.
If you think you're going to see Hunger Games, it's not the same thing at all. I understand that if I give you the quick synopsis how you would think so, but no.
What was like the key to actually getting this made? I mean, I don't know where you got like the money, if you had investors or anything, but was there any like one thing that popped up that kind of made you realize like this is really going to happen now? We're going to go into production.
For me, it was her. She
I thought you were making the answer. I was like,
answer this. No.
Yeah.
Your turn.
To me, the key to making this movie, like literally from the moment that Kenny said, you know, oh, take a look at this thing, it was her. I was like, if we can get Zoe, this will happen. Because it was too perfect of like a melding of the worlds. I knew what she was capable of as an actress. Everyone knows what she's capable of as a stunt woman. But I knew what she was capable of as an actress because we've been friends for a long time, and I felt like I wanted to see more from her, and I felt like, well, we can do that. We can do that together. We can create something specifically for her where it accents her strengths both as an actress and a stunt woman, and it's like, if we can do that, all of the other pieces are going to fall into place through our friends, and just, so for me, the key to making it was just Zoe Bell.
which is very flattering. I think it's always that thing is where you feel validated. I was like, once people that I trust implicitly as actors started to come on board, I was like, oh, I think we got a movie. I mean, I'm still saying that today when like the last reporter walked out, I was like, oh, you guys, we have a movie premiere tonight. Like I'm still, you know, like we see when we added the sound effects, the credits rolled, and I was like, oh my god! Producer, I'm fine, technical, whatever. It's good, movie, no problem. But I mean, it's like I'm constantly having those moments. But I think for me, when it felt sort of solidified, and it wasn't actually, but that's what that feeling was. Like the first day on set, and it was a bit of a pig fight, and we didn't quite know where breakfast was and who was meant to be scrambling the eggs and what time we were meant to be, you know. But the people who showed up were all, I mean, they were crew members that knew how to crew a movie, you know. They were like actors that have been acting and are brilliant at it. And I just had this moment where I looked around and I was like, yep, this is the plate I have to step up to, and I'm stoked, you know, like. And I just gave myself goosebumps.
I see that.
What was the environment on set like? I mean, clearly you guys are all nice and buddy-buddy, but then you're tearing each other apart. So is it easy to turn that switch on and off?
Oh, you mean like the producers?
Well, hopefully not in that case.
I mean, we managed to have a few laughs, definitely. But I think when it was time to work, everyone was ready to work. But it's crazy because you do this movie that's so dark and so like empowering and amazing, and then you're having so much fun at times where you're like, I shouldn't be having this much fun.
Why am I giggling?
You're like, I shouldn't be giggling.
Giggling shouldn't be a part of
you
this
know,
movie.
and it's kind of, but you see the work. I mean, you see the movie, you see the work that all the actors and director have done, and it's just great.
When you're doing a movie that's this intense, and you have these characters that are going through such an emotional arc from starting light and going totally dark, laughter between takes is paramount.
Yes.
I think.
Totally.
Because otherwise we'll go crazy and we'll take it home with us. We couldn't do that with this one. Couldn't do that with this one.
I had this moment with a girl I had a fight with, Bailey, who plays Cody. We had this moment in between takes. I'll never forget it. We're literally laying in the dirt, waiting for them to set up another shot, and I'm like, what are we doing with our lives right now? What are we doing? And she said, we're laying in the dirt pretending to try to kill each other. And we laughed for 10, it was the hardest laugh I think I have ever, it was so, like, it was like debilitating laughter, like tears from, because what we had just done was so intense, and we had to keep doing it over and over and over again, you know what I mean? Because you know,
it's like sniffing coffee beans between perfume.
It was I've never laughed that hard on the set ever because it was so extreme. Because what we have to go through in the movie, it's not like a regular movie where we're fighters and we have a contender and we come out and we're like fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
You know, it's like we have to try to kill each other and we don't even know each other. We have no reason to try to kill you. But I have to because or else my loved one will die. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was a very dark.
All of that stuff. We were all working a crazy schedule, super ambitious, like days, let alone the month that it took. So there's like not only that, and I think sometimes the laughter just came from crazy exhaustion. Too, you know, like
absolutely.
It was an intense shoot.
I think about that one time when we were doing when you and Rachel were fighting each other, and we have like the footage. Like in between takes where they were like, killing, and then we I think we all kind of stepped away and were doing something, but they were still in the arena, and we kind of heard like, and we like look at the monitors, and the two of them were like chasing each other around now, like just running in circles, and then they would turn around and the other direction.
Can you just tell me a little bit about taking the film to Tribeca, especially in the midnight program? I've really enjoyed seeing it kind of grow and come together over the past few years. So how is that? What are you expecting?
Well, we're expecting a full house. And we're, to be honest, it's like, it's also big for me to be in the producing side of this. That it's, I was saying the other day, it's like as an actor, it's like, you know when you kick your toe, you stub your toe, and you're like, and then you slam your finger in the door, and your toe stops hurting because your finger hurts. The toe was like me as an actor going, holy moly, I'm going to be on the big screens, and all these people watching, and I'm carrying a movie, and blah blah. And then I remembered I was a producer, and that was my finger being slammed in the door, and I was like, performance performance. I was like, oh my god, I put this movie out there, and so to have it be in Tribeca, just, it feels like, and I'm not super savvy when it comes to festivals. I've done a bunch of circuits with different documentaries and stuff, but Tribeca has that feeling of having kind of like weight, you know, like a quality, and maybe it's just De Niro. You're like, it's just De Niro, you know. I'm like, De Niro probably likes our movie, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it just feels, the fact that it's got a midnight, you were saying this earlier, the fact that it's got kind of a genre section now, that he was saying our movie tends to be, would be more prone to sort of like the fantasias of the film festivals, and so we've got into this movie that sort of, which are great, of course, but the emphasis of, and we still would like to go to some of those, I'm sure, that has emphasis on sort of story and a whole bunch of stuff outside of blood and guts and action. Kind of feel like it might imply that our movie has more levels than just that, which I believe it does.
It does.
There you go, it does. Doug just told me.
I said so. I gave it so. That's right.